Daniels. Hello, everybody. So I know Scott gave you guys kind of the rundown, but we'll talk a little bit. The way this will work, it is a Q&A, which means you guys have Q's and they have A's. So you guys can ask all the questions that you want to ask in the short time that we have together. If we don't get through all the questions, I'm the bad guy that is in charge of keeping us on time. And you can certainly ask those questions if we don't get to them at their table later on today and all weekend long. So we have a microphone right over here. That's where the questions will come from. And I know I've done enough of these. I know how this works. First panel of the day, people are like, oh, I don't want to be the first one up there to ask a question. Somebody else go. Don't be afraid. It does not bite. It will not. It should not shock you if you touch it accidentally. But line up. Again, we'll just have the line go back down the aisle there, and we will get through as many questions as we can. And yeah, if you want to sit, if you want to stand, I saw you guys sitting in on the nasty floor in the breezeway, so it's okay if you sit down here as well if you don't want to stand. So as you guys work up the courage to start heading towards the microphone, we'll just chat a minute, if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
So I was in a kind of a weird spot coming into this thing because I was born in the late 70s, so I was a little young for St. Elsewhere, although it was on every week in my house with my parents, and I was just a little old for Boy Meets World.
So you missed it.
I missed. I thought I did. I was like, what am I going to talk about? But I can talk about Little House on the Prairie.
Okay.
I can talk about Knight Rider all day long. I can talk about Twins. I could talk about The Graduate. So we have a lot we can talk about. Don't get me wrong. But you both won an Emmy in the same year for St. Elsewhere.
Yes, we did. We did.
Tell us a little bit about, was it a situation where you had to go in and audition for the role of your husband's wife? Or did you have, or was it a, hey, let's bring her in because we've got a great spot for her?
Really?
I assume the lights are so bright. I assume that
There are people there.
oh, here.
The voice of God.
Okay, let me start with one thing. We work together well because Bill is quite deaf. You know, he has hearing aids. And
what?
I have good, better hearing. But I have macular something or other degeneration in the right eye, and his eyes are great. So the last time we went to the doctor, he was A-okay in every way. He had been a little anemic, but that was all taken care of. He is so healthy and strong, and he's going to be 96 at the end of this month.
Wow.
I just hope I can keep up with it. So now, Little House on the Prairie. You want
Let's talk St. Elsewhere first. Did you have to audition for that role, or did you?
No, that was funny. You want to tell it? How I got into our say this? Well, no, I won't. Okay. I'll tell part of it. He'll tell.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I had read the scripts much sooner than he had because I had been up for the part of the head nurse, Christina Pickles. So when I went in for that reading, they said, you know, Bonnie, we love you, but Bruce has already cast this part. It's going to be Christina. I said, fine. So several weeks later, he called Bill. Bruce called Bill, and he said, Bill, I'm going to send you 6 scripts from my show, and I want you to play Dr. Craig. Bill said, fine. He sent him the 6 scripts, and Bill signed on. And he did the pilot, and then he did about 2 or 3 shows, and then there was a script that came that had a wife, his wife. She didn't have anything to say. She just sat at the table, and was the doctor, the Best Doctor of the Year award, which he assumed every year that he would get, and he never got it. But anyway, so it had, I said, it's a tiny, tiny part. Well, first, my name came up and they said, oh, she's too old for him. She's too old for him. You know, they always cast 20 years younger. And so then it came, finally the casting lady said, why not just use Bonnie, for God's sake. And so they called me. I said, it's too small. Bill said, take it, because there's a couple of good laughs. Now, you tell them why there are good laughs. Tell them why there were good laughs in the scene for me.
I have no idea.
You, about the cigarette, the smoking, the smoking.
Oh. She was supposed to, I bragged about the fact that I made certain that she doesn't smoke. And at the table, and then I left to go to the restroom, and she pulls out a cigarette and starts to smoke.
And I didn't know how to smoke. I don't smoke. So Bill took me out to the guest house, and he taught me how to open the pack and smoke, you know, like a man, really.
All that stuff.
You know, tapping it out and everything.
Yeah.
So it looked like, and then they could, I smoked, and of course they could cut away as because I didn't know how to smoke. I didn't know how to draw it in, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, it did get a couple of laughs, and they liked it so much that they wrote me in. And so that's how I got the part.
Very nice.
So,
Let's go. I know we've got a few people that would like to ask questions. Stand up, come up to the microphone, tell us your name and your question.
People out there.
yeah, a lot of people.
Can't see.
Hold on 1 second, Jeremy. Let's make sure your microphone's turned on. Are we good? No, hold on. Jeremy, here's what I need you to do. Start singing Happy Birthday, and at some point you will come in over these speakers. You think I'm kidding? Go. I want to, you don't have to be in key, just start singing.
Yay!
You did fantastic, and we still didn't get your mic turned on. Everybody in the back's like, I don't, he's singing good.
You're the only person who's ever done that, so you have. You are.
We will pause for technical difficulties. Please stand by.
He usually avoids birthdays. He says, I don't want, nothing.
Really? No birthday
He
stuff.
doesn't want to be celebrated for getting older, no.
It's better than the alternative.
I know, but that never occurs to him.
Okay. All right, I think Jeremy's here. Nice to meet you, Jeremy.
Nice to meet you as well. So what I was going to originally say first was happy early 96th birthday, Mr. William Daniels. Happy early 72nd anniversary to both of you. Nothing is going to be more wholesome than seeing the two of you interacting with each other, and I love every bit of that. My question for you, outside of working with each other over the years, what has been your greatest individual takeaways from your respective careers?
Your greatest individual takeaways, accomplishments from your careers beyond just being able to work together. Your greatest accomplishments, your greatest takeaways.
Oh, besides working together?
Yeah,
Our
if we take away working together from your professional
Our sons,
careers.
we adopted 2 boys. We lost a baby. We lost a boy. And boy, I was determined. And so we adopted. And we adopted 2 boys, and they are the nicest men I know. They are just terrific guys. And both of us, that's what's kept us really working and going together. And now we're working, and we have a granddaughter who's going into medical school, and that takes a lot of money. All the education we've helped with all of the grandchildren. And we're very proud of that.
Absolutely.
Because that means a lot to us. Bill, as a teacher, that his feelings about teachers are absolutely true. He really respects teachers and thinks they're underpaid, and that's when he got Mr. Feeny, he said to the head writer, I don't want you making fun of me, because he said, this is a good teacher, and I want him to be a good teacher, and let's not make fun. We can have fun, but let's not make fun.
Right. There's a difference.
There's a difference.
Good question for you. Thank you. Hello. Yeah, we'll move that down for you. You don't have to stand on your tiptoes. What is your name?
I'm Annie.
Hi, Annie. What is your question, Annie?
Okay, it's for Mr. Feeny. What was your favorite Corey Matthews and Mr. Feeny moment?
Your favorite moment on Boy Meets World. Your favorite interaction.
Your favorite moment on Boy Meets World.
I'm sorry, but there were a lot of them.
At the end.
There really were. I guess it was the last show that we did, and the class left the room, and I, being a strict teacher, I never showed this to them, but to an empty room, I said, I love you all. And it was a favorite moment of mine. And it still is.
Did they not tell you you're not supposed to make us all cry up here?
No, because it was very much Bill, too.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you can't fake that. As good an actor as you can be, you cannot fake that genuine sincerity, so. You're going to be a teacher? Oh, well, hey. All right. Well, best of luck to you, Annie. Thank you.
They're asking questions over there.
Hi. What is your name?
Oh my God.
No, that's all right.
Sorry.
Yell into it.
Sorry. My name's Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And I was curious who Mr. Feeney's favorite student was.
Who was Mr. Feeney's favorite student?
Say that again.
Who was your favorite student?
I think the young man. I think the young man, his real name is Ben Savage, played a role that I found very interesting, and he did it superbly. And I think that was my favorite moment with a class. So.
That's the answer. Ben.
Yeah.
He started out little boy.
Yeah.
Grew up with him, and Ben was always so thoughtful to Bill when we came back and he did on the second series.
Yeah.
And Bill had some trouble, being oriented and doing it and learning the lines, and Ben was wonderful and thoughtful and very, very sweet.
That's fantastic.
Sweet guy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda. Good question. Amanda's trying to figure out where to go next. Hi. What is your name?
Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Wow, I just forgot my question. Okay. I
do that all the time, and I'm up here, so don't worry about it.
Okay. First off, big fan of the Feeny call. That's probably one of my favorite things. But I have a middle schooler right now, and what's your best advice to middle school and high schoolers right now?
The best advice you could give to a young person, a middle school or a high school student, what would be the best life advice that you could give them?
Did they want from Bill or me or both?
Both. I think both would be good.
It's tough because it's a tough world right now. It's a very different world than when we were kids. When we were kids, it was like, well, first of all, we went through the Depression as little children. So that makes a big difference in the way you grow up, the way you spend money, the way you save. And we had a very, very strong work ethic. Nowadays, a lot of kids don't have that work ethic. I feel for them because it is a tough world, and a complicated world. And we see it in our grandchildren, and we are confused, very confused by young people today, and the way, what they're doing. Bill is totally confused. I'm better. I'm better. I can swing with it better. The only thing that we can do is try to adjust how you face life, because it's a different life than we have had. And one of the things that's really important is that you pay attention, and we didn't. You pay attention to the government and what's going on in the government, and really be as aware. And they're not, our grandchildren aren't. But I think you have to do that now. I think that every single person, from the time they are little, has to know what's going on and be part of it. I think that's really important now. For instance, climate change, and the young people are interested in that. It's very serious. And you have to do everything you can for your future. And your future is surviving. And I don't mean to be so serious, but you gotta pay attention. And you also have to explore the world. Now, I'm from Moline, Illinois. It's a small town in Illinois, and it's people that I grew up with were not interested in exploring the world. They were not interested in the rest of the world. They were only interested in Moline. Now, that's changed now. But it's really important to make that change and not be, we have to, for our survival, we have to know what's going on everywhere and be part of it and speak the truth and move on. And oh, I'm so serious. I don't know why I didn't want to get so serious. It's too serious.
I think it was a serious question. She wanted a serious answer, I think.
Do you want to give any advice to young people?
What advice would you give to the young people, maybe that are out here in the crowd?
School and
The students in school, what advice would you give them?
Work hard. Be true to yourself. Know what you want to do and to try to pursue it with all your efforts. And, you know, it's a tough world out there. And take every opportunity to practice what you're interested in doing. For instance, if you were interested in acting, take every advantage you can to act wherever you can. Somebody's kitchen, I don't care where. Just work on that. And because the opportunities will be rare, and you have to be ready for them when they come along. So.
That's great advice, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good question. Hello, what is your